what's in it for? I mean, the state-owned clubs have always received a lot of flack. They hold their players, but the argument will always be, if I'm putting 100 million, what do I get back? And if I'm putting this investment, is there anything in this league or whatsoever competition that is there anything in it that can make me generate what was more than what I've put in? And I think that's always the question. That's why it looks as if sometimes that we are praising some of these people when they do this for some of the sportsmen and women.
Unfortunately, I said it earlier, in Nigeria, we don't have that kind of structure, to run football clubs or to run sports club properly or effectively. So when this kind of things happen, you tend to commend the individual
who does it,
or who even thinks, let me reward these girls or let me reward these guys for doing this. But what we have currently in Nigeria doesn't really support. Our football is not, our football is just coming up to where you can look forward to investing and getting returns. For now, it's nothing. So, and that's why I said it earlier that, yes, we are not advocates of government should solely sponsor sports clubs or football clubs, but we will get there. But it can't happen now. Okay. There's still a long way. So if it happens this way, yes, give the politicians, they know how to hop on it and, get the credit. Because at the end of the day, the players, the officials will tell you it was so and so that gave us individual, praise and all of that. So I think that's basically what has been happening. That's what we can get for now, till we get it right.
You know why Yemi says I'm not going to agree with him? It's simply because I feel this is a government, right? You own the club, and you're going to tell me you won't put money in it. You're saying if you want to put money, you expect something in return.
What the government should do basically is provide an enabling environment.
Yeah. Exactly.
Get them structures. If you want to provide hostels or camps or whatever, stadium and all of that, get that on ground. The buses, transportation, everything. But that shouldn't be limited to this particular team. Everybody in the state should be able to access all that I've mentioned earlier and even more. But then again, as I said, then we can now start saying, okay, Mr. Emi wants to invest in Nasarawa United, Cecilia wants to invest, and then you invest, and then you plan a way of getting your returns.
Just imagine, for instance, you have Nasarawa Maisons, they have their own stadium, they have their own hostel, they have their own buses. And
provided by the government.
Provided by the government, everything is there. You think I won't invest my money in it? I will, because you don't have to start from the scratch. But where the provision is not there, I don't think you as a government intends to put in money into a female sports club and wants to get something in return. You hear me?
Okay.
Have you agreed? Have people agreed?
We haven't. But I think when you talk about government, you should also talk about organizers of various leagues. They should create the incentive. You said something that was interesting to me. You talked about you are hoping so team will get something. We only remember the winners, because that's the only opportunity you get to get something from it, publicity stunts. That's the incentive. That's the only, so the organizers, as well as we can, the government should receive flack for not putting the structures in place. Everybody should do their own part. But the organizers of the various competitions we were talking about should make an investor look at what is going on and say, I should put my money in there. Because if I ask you, for instance, what did Pt.2 United get? I'm very sure you're going to, okay, you might remember.
We'll wait for the, from the organizers' angle now.
Yeah. What they got, was it enough to cover all the costs?
No, it wasn't enough. I mean, yes, and that's why I said, last year, I think the team that won, Rangers got close to how much over? I know that they won 40 million, and then maybe after TV rights and all of that, it accumulated, by some millions. But what I'm saying is, what we have in Nigeria currently, we've not gotten to that level where you probably make money from TV rights, from this, from that. So if the organizers can't even get a sponsor, a sole sponsor, to sponsor the league for the entire season, where would they get the money to pay the clubs? So we need to get our football to that level or that height where enough investors can come in. Take, for instance, the Super 4 that we saw in Benin. Yes, we saw some private, branch, come on to support. We don't know the details. It might even be at a lower scale, not even at the larger scale level. Well, I'm sure what the chairperson of the NWPL said, Aisha Falode, was that we're hoping to get more investors, more sponsors. So maybe by next season, if you come and say, okay, this is what the winners will get 20 million naira for winning this, they'll know that there is that support. But before we get to that height of probably you're getting $100 million plus TV rights and all that, it's still going to be a long way. Ordinarily, the 50 million naira also that was their name, Pt.2 United or Rangers won, can only cater for 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 match days. That 2 match days is if you are even prudent.
Yeah, so you are in between.
So, yeah, no,
I support you.
You are in between.
I'm not in between. I support the fact that that money or the money is being received is not enough to cater for the entire season. And that's why there should be measures by the clubs or the owners to actually get sponsors to help them cater for all that. Yeah, share the burden. So, but for now, man, we just make do with this. Really.
No, as I said earlier, if you are able to have a structure for these clubs that you own and all that, then you can market their jerseys and different merchandise that they have. And so, with it, you see how they'll be able to make more money. But if you don't have that, maybe where they have to go to, I've seen some female clubs going to a particular field to play a football match, and they say, okay, they haven't paid for that field. They pay, I mean,
the game can't go on.
Yes, luckily for FC Robo, Lagos State government have decided to okay, they can use, the legacy pitch and all that. They don't get. But before they were paying, to play, they were paying for the field to play for the field to play for play their league games. Yeah. So imagine when a club will have to, have that, it's not by impact. That's the thing, that burden on
players,
it. Just, that's
pay
it.
backroom staff.
So at the end of the game, when you don't have that structure ready for these things, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Most of the female things are not on salaries.
Valid contracts.
No, it's just bonuses or signing.
Yeah, we get that. Thank you. But then, congratulations to Nasura Amazons for winning the Super 4, and of course for the governor for being able to reward these ladies. And what he said is what I'm thinking about. If Nasura United players and Amazons get to start receiving the same amount of money, I think it's one of the very best in the world. All right, go on a break. Now we'll come back. Look at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup.